And we are live. Right, guys, welcome to another episode of Czech Firearms podcast. My name is Lucas. There is Carl from Check My Guns.
Heyo.
And today we have another English-speaking episode.
Sorry.
It's totally fine. Our guest is James Reeves, the legendary James Reeves. James, let me thank you from both of us. We really appreciate that you have accepted the invitation.
Nice. I'm glad to do it.
Thank you very much. For those who don't know, James is a famous YouTuber, gun enthusiast for sure, lawyer, which was a new information for me, and also gun range owner, also instructor for the self-defense, and generally person involved deeply into the gun culture worldwide. So welcome again.
I think half of that was bullshit, but that's okay.
Yeah. We always start our podcast with the typical question to us, and it's very simple. How it all started. How did you get
I mean, it's super easy, and you guys just cut me off whenever this goes long.
No, we have time. Go for it.
Long and short of it is my dad was a Marine, and you don't say was a Marine. He would correct me because he's 85, but he's like, hey, once a Marine, always a Marine. That's what they say. So dad is a Marine.
Of course. Yeah.
He was always like super into guns. And I remember like the first time I got really into it, everybody shot a 22 when they were a kid, right? Mm-hmm. At least in the United States, like everybody shot a 22. But the first time I shot in SKS, a 7.62-39 SKS, yeah, I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, he sold. This guy sold.
Yeah. I was like, the first time I shot a Chinese SKS with my dad, I was all in. And I would buy Shotgun News. I would buy like Guns and Ammo, like these publications when I was like 11, 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And then one day the principal calls my mom and is like, yeah, like this kid, all he talks about is guns, and we think he's going to be a school shooter. Like, they had a meeting like with my parents. And so my mom, she's like, yeah, you showed that bitch. She's like, you got, you're on YouTube, and, you own a gun range and all that. So, mom's really proud of me, which is important. But we, so I do that, and then I get my FFL, like my dealer's license, whenever I'm in college at Florida State University. And, I'm 21 years old. I started an online gun dealership and sold, I want to say, around 3,500 guns in like a little bit less than 2 years online. Ooh. Because, you would just go and list them on classifieds like, AR15.com or like SIG Forum. If you go and find like SIG Forum, James Reeves, if you look that up, like I was, a guy who sold a lot of guns on SIG Forum.
That's fast. Like from just cutting the pictures from the magazine straight to the dealing with guns. Yeah. That's straight line.
10 years, it was 10 years. So it was like, from being in middle school to being in college and then selling guns. And it was my condo, my apartment. In college, you could walk into my bedroom and it was all the way around the walls, like over chest high with boxes of guns. So, I had no insurance, no employees. Like it just got so big before I even knew what to do with it. But fortunately, like somebody bought it from me. So I do that. And then, I guess I take a couple of years off. I get a full scholarship to Tulane Law School, which is like a law school in New Orleans. While I'm in law school, that's when I get a job with the Firearms Blog. And so, I worked for TFB and, started writing for them. So that was 11 years ago this month.
Ooh. 11 years ago.
Yeah. I started working for the Firearm Blog.
So you sold that business of yours of selling the guns, and then there was a gap when you didn't have anything to do with guns for a while. You did the law school. So tell me, the Firearms Blog, how that happened, like because there is a gap. You were not involved with the guns anymore. How they approached you, or how you got that opportunity?
I just saw them post like we're looking for writers. It was some kind of article or some kind of announcement where they said we're looking for writers. So I applied, And you know what? And at the time, I think at that time, I was a brand new concealed handgun instructor for like Louisiana. To do Louisiana, it's a little bit more strict than other states. But I mean, it's still like the NRA basic curriculum. It's not like incredibly challenging. Like you've got a lot of guys absolutely no disrespect to the program at all, but you know, you don't have to be a Navy SEAL to get like the NRA basic curriculum. But so I did that. I did basic instructor training, and then the NRA curriculum. Got certified by the state police, Louisiana State Police, and I'm instructor number 659 in Louisiana. And so it was about the same time. So they were like, okay, well, this guy, you know, he's all set. Yeah, that was all about 11 years ago. That all happened around the same time, like 11, 12 years ago. And they said, yeah, you had an FFL. Oh, I worked for Interstate. See, I totally forgot that part. So I worked for Interstate Arms, which is a distributor in Billerica, Massachusetts. Worked for them for 1 year in law school, selling guns remotely. I was the regional sales rep for the Southeast. But after I did that for like a year, I realized it's way too difficult to try to have a job and also do law school. So I quit. And whenever I did my first clerkship, like my first year clerkship, first summer. So yeah, anyways, Firearm Blog, you know, start working for them. And it's, you know, I want to say 2015, 2016.
So you just came up with the topic and wrote an article and sent it to them?
No, they were like, what would you want to review is what they said. What are you into? And I think the first thing I reviewed may have been, or one of the first things at least, was like a Wyndham weaponry AR-15. So they send that, I do the review, take the pictures, all that. And then a few years later, so I want to say maybe 7, 8 years ago, they say, well, we know that you know how to use cameras and video cameras, and you would be all right, we think, to be on a YouTube channel. So would you like to co-found the YouTube channel with this other guy, Alex C., who was the co-host at the time, and he and I started TFB TV. I was only doing like 1 or 2 videos a month, so Alex was handling most of it to start. But then he quit, I want to say a year or 2 in. And then after that, it was me. And we've always had rotating TFB writers and personalities that have come in. It's not about, I always say, you heard me say it today, I'm not the star of TFB. It's about the gun, or it's about the company. You know, we're here for CZ, right?
Yeah.
Filming with CZ. So it's not about James Reeves. It's about CZ. And that's what we're doing. So
yeah, we understand that you're a very humble person.
Yeah. Well, you know.
But you really are.
Yeah, but you are the medium, right? So you just transfer all the information. You are the provider.
I try to facilitate a discussion. But in the same time, I've been working for the same group, not the same law firm because we split off, but this is unrelated to guns. But, well, I guess it kind of is, because about, I want to say 6 years ago, U.S. Law Shield, which is a concealed handgun insurance company in the United States, they approached me. I'm licensed to practice in Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi, so I've taken 3 bar exams.
Oh, this is so strange to the Czechs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we have just very strict laws to follow when you want your gun license, but like no licensing whatsoever once you want to be instructor. You just make yourself instructor.
You just pronounce yourself to be instructor.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, with Law Shield, they were excited that I was an instructor and that I had a background in the gun industry and that I was a lawyer in these 3 states. So they said, okay, well, how about you represent Mississippi and Louisiana clients? So if somebody gets involved in a self-defense shooting and they're covered, then I'm their lawyer. They get me for free. They pay an insurance premium. But then I represent, they don't have to pay my legal fees. And I defend them in court because Law Shield pays for their legal fees.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, I've done it on the legal side as well. And I've been practicing law since 2009. And and then about...
Any hard cases?
Oh, tons of them. Tons of them. I mean, you know, we can, to finish up the story, you know, I bought a gun range like 6 months, 7 months ago. I don't know. And so now I've got a gun range with 2 of my partners, Sam and Jason, in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's called the Neutral Ground Gun Company at 212 Aycock Street. It used to be a soft porn studio. I'm not making that up.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look up Cockface 3, is the name. You can look up, if you look up Cockface 3. I think
I'm on it.
Yeah, grime wave.
He's sold again.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's kind of the history. Like I said, it was long. I'm really sorry about that. Half your viewers or listeners have tuned out at this point.
Yeah, we just lost the majority of the listeners.
Sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Tell us more about the cases, if you are allowed.
Yeah. I mean, they're public record. So as long as they're not ongoing cases, No, I mean.
Anything that's stuck in your mind?
Oh, tons of them. I mean, there was a. This is what I always tell people, and this might be interesting to your viewers when you understand how the legal system works in the United States versus the Czech system. Not that I know how the Czech system works at all, but I would imagine it's much different than the United States because the United States is different than everywhere else. So there's one case, there's a woman, I mean, I could even use her name, but I'm not going to, but we'll call her Mary. And Mary goes to see her brother. Her brother's high on drugs. She owes her brother $50 or something, or he thinks that she owes him $50. They get into an argument. She goes out to her truck. She's trying to get in her truck. He attacks her and is punching her in her truck. And she pulls a gun out, shoots him in the stomach. She gets booked for attempted murder. And she gets arrested. Spends like a week or two in jail. Her bond was set at like $700,000. So what bond is like if you want to,
we know.
We know. And how that works in the U.S., which may be the same here, is you pay 10 to 12%. If you don't have the money, I mean, if you guys have $700,000 cash lying around, like we could be better friends. You just tell me what you want. But if you don't have the $700,000, then you've got to put up 10 to 12% to a bail bondsman. He puts up the $700,000, but then he keeps the $70,000, $80,000 that you gave him. It's gone forever. I ultimately get the charges dismissed against this woman for defending herself. No trial, no hearing, no nothing. I work with the DA. And we get all the charges dropped. And after we explain the situation, get affidavits, witness statements, work through all that. But at the end of the day, this woman's out $70,000, $80,000 for doing nothing wrong. So that is really one of the main pitfalls. There has been one case that I've had that has resulted in a felony charge in like 6 years, and this guy straight up killed somebody. So shot somebody 21 times and 5 times in the back of the head. So I knew I wasn't going to get out of that one.
That was no accident.
Yeah, so that is my only... I'm very passionate about defending these people because it's a situation that I could very well find myself in someday. So I'm passionate about it. I work hard at it, and I've never had anyone other than this one guy who literally murdered someone convicted of a felony.
Do you get to pick the clients, or you're just assigned?
No, and some of them are bad. Like, I mean, people that do stuff that is a crime. And so there is a little bit of some dissonance there when I have to represent people where I know they did something wrong, but I still have to be their lawyer, and I've got to zealously represent them and try to do the best I can.
I would constantly lose my motivation once I figured out there's a criminal. Like, there's that,
it's
aspect.
not a job for everybody.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I tell people when they commit a crime, I say, you committed a crime. You committed, and I don't think I've ever gotten anyone acquitted for committing a crime, but I have gotten like reduced sentences, reduced charges, whatever. I would never make a misrepresentation to the court, and I'm a big believer in justice, so I would never compromise my morals for money. And that's also been kind of an underpinning of TFB TV as well, because we don't take money for positive. I didn't ask. I'm here filming with CZ. You guys work with CZ, and I didn't ask for $1, to do this.
It's important to keep the independency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, because otherwise you're just sold.
Exactly. I mean, if you don't have integrity, then what do you have?
Yeah,
exactly. What is the shooting range ownership like?
It's great. I mean, I've got two partners. So
is this like an open public shooting range, so everyone can come and just
I wish they would, as many people as possible.
I see. And what's the size, and what's the distances, and
25-yard range? It was
indoor, right?
Yes, indoor.
Okay.
And it was 13 lanes. the manager there, Sam, who's one of my partners, he shrunk it down to 10, and this is brilliant. Shrunk it down to 10 lanes, and we've got a VIP section. We did have a VIP section, but it was the same as the other lanes. It was just kind of behind a private door. But now what we're doing is we're actually going to tear those 3 lanes down, make it one big lane, RSVP only. But, you know, it's going to be like $100,000.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we're broke. You know, we just spent, it's not even been a year. You know, we spent all this money.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth the money.
Oh, 100%.
I visited the place like this not a long time ago, and it's definitely worth the money because you feel so special, and people will pay for that. People will pay for that. You will put some, you know, fancy furniture in there, and some bar with some refreshments, and they will feel special.
And that's what we want. That's what we want people to feel like VIPs, not like well, we're just people on the other side of the wall. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be cool when it's done.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully we get to see that one day.
Open invite, awesome. Boys. Whenever you want, come on over.
Let's get back to the times when you were for the first time in front of the camera. You remember that time?
Yeah, I remember exactly. Actually,
yeah. What was it? Was that AR-15 from Widem? Or?
Oh no, that was just a review.
That was just pictures and text.
A blog post,
right?
That was just a blog post. But the first time I was actually on camera, it was SHOT Show. Alex and I covered SHOT Show.
What year is that?
2015, or 2016. It was 2015 or 2016. So it was like it was interesting, but it wasn't bad. You know, I mean, I'm as an attorney, I talk to people. That's my job, is to present cases and present my opinions. So I am sure. I don't go back and watch myself.
But we can find that video.
Oh, I'm sure you
online.
could. I'm sure you could.
Okay.
So yeah, it's somewhere out there. I mean, you could look at my older stuff, but you know, it's. I think it's probably a little rough. Oh, I'm sure it's rough around the edges. Like production, you know, the cameras were cheaper. I didn't have as good a setup because I wasn't sure how big. In fact, at the beginning, the company offered me a part ownership. I don't own the channel. I work for the Firearm Blog, but. They offered me a part ownership. I said, there is no way that this channel is going to get over 100,000 subscribers. So, and now we've got like almost 1.4 million. And so they,
you regret that, I guess.
Yeah, I did. But the point is, it was a little rough beginning. But I think my presentation style I'm sure it's gotten more polished over the years, but I think it was roughly the same. But that's because, again, authenticity is super important to the channel.
Yep.
I don't do pranks or skits or you know, act or anything like that. It's I think it's consistent.
I think if we look at your videos, it's always like a good balance of like it's not super serious, like that you would be like talking in one level of the voice and just going for the straight data. It's really nice to watch. It's easygoing. I like that.
Thank you. The way I always thought about it is I kind of think about when I'm talking to the camera like I'm talking to a friend of mine, like one of my buddies, and that's how I try to converse.
That's great.
And,
you feel involved while watching it, and it has a perfect balance between like the seriousness, I would say, and also the fan factor. So it gets my attention. So
well, thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, and it catches your interest, which is the most important for me, because it is not like a clickbait, but it's like quality information, what I personally appreciate.
Yeah, well, no, I appreciate that. I mean, it's again, as I've said, because we don't do stunts and shooting like a car full of C4 or anything. We don't do stuff like that. I appreciate it. I would even watch that myself if I were a guy who watched.
This content has its audience, right?
Oh, 100%. And I think it gets people interested in guns and what have you. But I'll never do it. We'll never get that big because of that technical aspect. But at the end of the day, I try my best to balance the dry facts and information with trying to make it as entertaining as possible, while giving people the information they need if they want to buy a gun or carry a gun or use a gun or whatever the topic of the video is.
Yep, and that's the ultimate message of of James Reeves.
How many episodes or how many videos you were making back then at the very beginning? Because now we know that you're able to go like straight, like
bang, bang, bang.
I don't know, 10 videos per day.
I told you guys, D+ effort, B+ product. That's the motto. So I put in.
You should put it on T-shirts.
I've always, I know, right? I've always been practicing law or whatever, but I've gotten to scale that back. You know, I talked to my partners and said, hey, look, guys, I'm going to take a pay cut. I'm going to do a little bit more. But I love practicing law, love representing my clients, love representing the U.S. Law Show clients. So it's something I enjoy. I could never quit either one of these jobs, either guns on YouTube.
That was one of the questions I wanted to ask. If you had to choose between the law and guns, like you can do only one for the rest of your life.
I mean, you know, that would be extremely difficult, but it would just make the most sense to do law because, I mean, I've got so much invested. I'm a partner at a law firm. Like I am a practicing attorney. I took the bar in 3 states, which takes so much time and so much effort and so much studying. Yeah. So there would be a huge loss, financial loss.
I can imagine,
and loss of time if I quit that. But at the same time, guns, it's my passion. I'm really excited about it, and I like sharing it with everybody in the community and doing stuff like this.
Guns are life, man.
Yeah. I'm not going to push you to answer that.
Thanks.
People get the idea, I guess.
Good, because I wasn't going to anyways.
Yeah.
So, if I get back to the question, how many videos you were doing back then?
Yeah, sorry about that. I totally
no
did
problem.
Not. See, that's a lawyer thing, you know.
He just tried to avoid it,
yep,
guys.
I did. No, I have no clue. But again, D+ effort, B+ product. Now that I've got more time, you know, now 2 videos a week. At the beginning, it was couple of videos a month. So I've gotten more efficient, but you know, I mean, gosh, at this point, if you count SHOT Show, I think I've probably done 1,000 videos. Yeah. But I mean, there's some guys out there that do way more, but then that's also like their main job. I wouldn't even call YouTube or the Firearm Blog my main job.
Yeah, but we discussed during the day that you want to keep up the quality and like the typical aspects. Of,
right. Yeah, there are a lot of guys that'll just get in front of an iPhone or camera.
It's
and
super easy.
Just the talking head videos where I edit all my own videos.
Especially gun shows, you get lots of content with the like extra surrounding sounds, like guys almost screaming
So we
You're
actually
talking about me.
No, it's not your
That's
case.
what I do
actually,
sometimes.
it's not your case. The sound of your videos is good, but there are some, you know, like SHOT Show, like super crowded booth.
Yeah,
it's like we're here with this and it's like
We actually split off a separate channel called TFB TV Showtime, which has like I don't know, maybe 150 or 200,000 subscribers. But that is only gun shows like SHOT Show and TriggerCon and IWA and Enforce Tag.
I see.
Because what was happening is under the old executive producer. So again, I work for TFB. And the old executive producer was the guy who started TFB, who he since retired from TFB a few years ago. But he insisted on all the SHOT Show videos running on the main channel. And we would lose thousands of subscribers every year because either the videos are crap and it's boring and you're getting notifications on your phone, boom, 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 boom. It actually hurt us really bad. So
might be disturbing.
And we saw maybe the algorithm because of YouTube every February and March. Our traffic would be way down from October, November, December, and then you had January for SHOT Show, and then our traffic would go way down. And I think the algorithm is like, well, this channel must suck if thousands of people are unsubscribing every January. So finally, we switched it over to TFB TV Showtime, and it's great because if you're not a subscriber, there's a good chance that like a good video will pop up in your feed if you're interested in it, and you can watch it, and those videos will get hundreds of thousands of views. But you don't have to. I would like it if you subscribed, but you don't have to subscribe.
I see.
But if you do subscribe, you get everything. So SHOT Show, we made 70 videos last year, Ryan? Yeah, like 70 videos. But we go in and we run with 6 guys, and that's the one time where I don't edit my own. I edit some of my own videos, but not all of them. We have 2 editors, 2 camera guys, and 2 personalities, myself and Hop. you know, so we get on and cover the show.
And when you realize that this is going big, like the channel, did you suddenly got recognized? Probably at the shows, but you probably get also recognized somewhere else in the public.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was like one moment, because it just happened. It was like a gradual thing, but I think it was, you know, I told you the story, and I hope, you know, Glock doesn't listen to this or hear this and like want to kill me, but it was when Glock called me to go to Smyrna, and then they asked me how much SIG was paying me, because I said the SIG in 2018, because I said the SIG P365 was the best gun of SHOT Show. I do the top 5 guns of SHOT Show every year.
Yeah.
I said it was the best gun. They said, how do you know it's the best gun? It hasn't been made yet. And I said, yeah, you know, they didn't have a shooting copy or anything, but on paper, it looked really good, and it looks like it would work. And they announced it, and it's SHOT Show. It's a concept. You know, if they never, I'm sure there's been a gun that I've put in the top 5 that was never released, but it's SHOT Show. It's SHOT Show. Yep. So I had to explain that to them. They said, well, how much does SIG pay you? I said, $0. They pay me the same. How much have you guys paid me, like, for all the videos I've done, like, with Glocks? And they're like, oh, shit, yeah, you're right. So, I mean, when I got noticed enough for Glock to say, hey, we want to have a face-to-face conversation with you about your content, that's why I was like, okay, well, I guess I've made it, so to speak. So that would be it.
Yeah, sometimes.
How long did it take? You started 2015. So when did the Glock invitation happened?
2018 or 19, because
so
I know
4 years after that.
Yeah, because I know it was. I mean, we got 150,000 subscribers our first year, but that was also.
Wow.
But that was also on the back of TFB. You know, the blog, and the blog's a big deal.
Right.
Yeah, it's a huge support.
Right. It's a huge. So we had a huge springboard getting into it, because you had TFB readers. Which there are a lot of, and they were like, okay, I'm going to subscribe to this. So yeah, we had a huge springboard, and that momentum carries forward. So yeah.
It's interesting. Like it's interesting for me that all the influencers out there are full.
I hate that word.
Yeah, it's it is what it is, right? So you guys are following the metrics, right? So you watch the viewers and all the information included. What I'm trying to say is, how do you approach the attraction of the younger population?
I just don't do it. I'm not one of those people where, look, I want to get as many viewers as possible, but at the end of the day, once again, the underpinning of TFB and TFB TV is authenticity. So I'm not sitting here losing sleep. Oh man, how can I get these 19-year-olds to watch a channel? Should I do a video about what's the stupid
anime
video game, Ryan? What is it? You're playing DayZ or Tarkov.
That's famous.
I'm not like, look, I know there's tons of views in that. I know, like I said, if how many piss jugs can I shoot through with a Bren 2? You know, like if I do something like that, like people would watch that and it would get lots of views, or if I blew up a car or something. But I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah, so, but afterwards you couldn't look to the mirror, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's all about authenticity and
and being yourself.
Yeah, being myself. Yeah, that's precisely it. Yeah. It's gotten me this far. You know, I've survived this long. So
right.
I'm gonna stick with it.
One more question I wanted to ask about being recognized is, like, when you get assigned to the client or you have a client, you meet for the first time, does it happen that they say like, oh, I saw you on YouTube, I know your video, something like that?
In several different ways. And what I mean is, for example, sometimes I'll get clients who will say, oh my God, like you're the guy.
That's him, that's the guy.
Yeah, they'll recognize me when they call in, or I get assigned to them, or whatever the case may be. Often I will get lawyers where I'll call lawyers, especially in the South where I live, and guns are very popular. They'll say, no way, like, there's no way, like, you're the same guy. It's like, yeah, I'm the same. And what I always say is, people, when you tell people who are aware of who you are as a YouTuber that you're a lawyer, they assume you're a shitty lawyer. And if you tell somebody who's a lawyer that you're on YouTube, then they assume you're a shitty YouTuber. But every now and then you get like a lawyer who also knows like what you do on YouTube or what you do on TFB, and they're like, they're like, oh my God. And people say, oh, how do you do it? It's like, well, me and my wife don't have kids, so I've got time. Yeah. But every now and then there's, you can also get really funny situations where I'll get people who call me. I mean, it happens maybe once every 30 to 60 days where I get someone who calls and is like, hey, I heard you were a lawyer. But the weirdest one, and I don't know, like maybe Nina's watching this, but Nina is an aviation lawyer in Germany. And I see in my caller ID on my desk line, I'm getting a phone call from Germany. And it's this very polite, nice sounding woman who says she's a lawyer in Germany and is talking to me about helping her client buy like $100 million Embraer brand new jet from Embraer.
Wow.
And Embraer handles all of their transactions in South Florida. So they need a contract lawyer, which is what I do outside of the criminal context. I do contracts. So they need a contract lawyer to help them purchase this jet. And she goes through this whole spiel, like 10, 15 minutes, where she's explaining what she needs. And I'm like, okay, like how the fuck did you get my phone number? And she's like, oh my God, my husband watches Mailroom, TFB TV Mailroom.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. So that was like the weirdest connect. And I helped her and everything went great. And they bought the jet and all the contracts were fine. Nice. And then, she contacted me about using them again. So whatever.
What I think they don't get, that the quality of your, lawyer services are directly connected to your YouTube performance. So you cannot afford to be shitty lawyer.
And
you cannot afford to be, as a lawyer, you cannot afford to be shitty YouTuber.
Well, I am.
Because it's all, no, you cannot be. You cannot be because it's part of your personality, and it's represents you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do take it seriously. I take both jobs very seriously.
Yeah.
So I don't. Mainly, it's from not wanting to disappoint people. So
you literally cannot afford it.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I mean, it's personally heartbreaking. It's rare, but I'll get someone who will say, "Hey, James, I bought this because of you," and it's usually like I had some problem, and it's like a one-off thing. I'm not sure if there's ever been a time where somebody said, "Hey," or a bunch of people said, "Man, you did this video about this gun, and it sucked so bad." And you were so wrong. It'll often be like, hey, I bought this gun because of your video, and it was like there was something wrong with it. Mm-hmm. We had a quality control issue, and it's been a pain in the ass.
It's happening.
But it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to disappoint people. People rely on me. Clients rely on me. My partners rely on me. People who watch my YouTube channel rely on me, and I don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
I have a question. Because we've seen some of your videos from the past, and you actually talk about some occasions that you traveled to the gun companies itself, the headquarters. You've seen quite a few. So you've been to Glock, you've been to Beretta. Can you name the companies you visited?
No, Glock, Beretta, B&T, Zastava, Smith & Wesson. Ryan, what else? We have been to H&K. H&K, you're listening, whenever you guys are ready. I'm friendly with them. We've been to SIG, but not the factory, because when the last time we went to SIG, it was during COVID, and they said no factory. So I've never actually seen the SIG factory, but I've been to SIG once or twice. Gosh, I'm forgetting some, and I know. RX. My buddy's in RX.
Of course,
yeah.
RX.
Europe. So, been over there. Ryan, what else? What am I forgetting? This is Ryan, call him my hetero life mate. He's my camera guy.
It might pop up in your head later on.
Yeah, sure.
Tell us something about Zastava, for example, because that's a brand which is overlooked very often. And I was pretty surprised when I saw some of your videos from Zastava. I was like, damn, James Reeves is in Zastava.
Look, man, I'm a hick. I'm a redneck. What do they say around here? Like a villager or a country person?
Oh yeah,
or whatever. Where I'm from, maybe I might not sound like it, but where I am from, a very small town that's very close to Alabama. I'm from Florida. Everybody knows about Florida man. Florida men are crazy.
It's like Sasquatch or Bigfoot or something.
Yeah.
I need to admire your accent.
Yeah.
It might sound like different, right?
Well, I'm not sure if you guys can tell accents or not, but when you have an accent and you're from the South, you talk like this. This is how people from the South talk. Yeah.
Alabama.
I actually don't have that because my parents sent me to private school.
And they taught you better.
Yeah. So I never developed an accent, but a lot of my buddies do. And I love my fellow country people in Florida, man. Like I love the culture. I love the culture in the South. Serbs are European rednecks, and I love them. And really all the Slavs. Like any of the Slavic countries that I've gone to, I've been like, damn, I like these dudes. Like anywhere there, you guys are fun. It's casual. You like guns. You like drinking, and it works.
And boobies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's part of the culture.
Yeah, it works. So in any event, Zastava, I got along with those guys great. I don't even know how we got hooked up with Renko Ristic over at Zastava. He's the head of Zastava USA.
Okay.
Great friend of mine. I would consider him to be a personal friend now. We went to Mr. Stefan Brown in Belgrade one time, stayed out till 5 a.m. But I don't know how it happened, but he said, "Oh yeah, you'd love it." And also the Polinar guys, those are my boys. Yeah. Žiga, Samo, Mansa, I love all of them. So
we were actually recording podcast like one level up from the place where we are now, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I love those guys. They're good friends. And so I got to go to RX with them and I had a great time. So I figured out that, most of the countries, like the Slavic countries.
Yeah. But they are real Slavs. Like we are moderate Slavs. Let's say we are living just too close to Germany.
Slavs, from private school.
We are Slavs from private school.
No, I would agree. I would agree with that completely. But and even the Slovenians are in my opinion, you've got Czech Republic, and then you've got Slovenia and Croatia, and then you've got the Serbs. Of all the ones I've been to, they are the most Slavic, and I love it. I got.
It's good for vacation. I wouldn't live there.
I went to some show. I don't even remember what it was called. We covered it on Showtime in Serbia, and man, I just got shredded off my face on stupid rakia. And these guys are rakia. And you go to every booth and they say, hey, have rakia. And you can find this video where it's I'm getting absolutely blasted on rakia. And everywhere you go, they're like,
that's what they do.
No. You go over there and then they're like, hey, would you like some rakia before we do this video? Let's drink rakia together. Yeah. And I try to be as respectful as possible of other cultures. And I actually love the culture over here in Czech Republic, and I love it in Serbia. So I'll never turn them down. And they say, let's have a rakia. So, I have rakia. And then I go to the next booth. And they say, oh, well, let's have a rakia. I said, man, I just had a rakia at another booth and a rakia at a booth before that. And they're like, oh, that guy's rakia is bullshit.
Yeah,
you have
course.
my rakia. And then
my rakia is better, my friend.
Yeah, and I swear to God. And they've got it in water bottles, dumped out water bottles. Yeah. And I am like, so my God. And it all tastes like shit. But I drink it anyways because,
we do the same with Slivovitz.
Yeah, Slivovitz, that's right. And then the William Schnapps in Slovenia and whatever. I love it. So yeah, this is great. This is my second time in Czech Republic. I'll come back infinity times. I would live here. This is the only country that has a constitutional right to carry, right?
True.
Or right to own guns.
It's not to carry, but to defend yourself with a gun.
Yeah. It is supported. It is supported.
Yeah. And Prague's great.
State is friend, I would say. The government is friend, I would say.
Yeah.
For now.
Well, I hope it stays that way.
We definitely hope.
Same here.
So, but yeah, love it here.
Yeah. State is friend, not then food. Right? That's cool. You are basically stealing the question from us because you are covering all the topics I wanted to go through.
I rabble.
No problem. I appreciate it. You are making it easier for us. My question is, this one gets more complicated, but do you see I'm asking about the industry, the gun industry. Do you feel like it's changing, or could you express the way of the gun industry? Where is it heading? Or
you know, I keep a close eye on it. What I will say is that where it's gone from what it was 20 years ago, as somebody who's been, you know, I had my FFL 19 years ago. And as somebody who's been in the industry on pretty much every side for 20 years, I think social media is a cancer. And I'm really
That's so weird to hear that from a YouTuber.
Yeah, and well, and YouTube's terrible too. People, it really makes me mad when people, I have a positive review, and people say, "Oh, he got paid to say this." It makes me mad.
Of course.
It insults my integrity. But at the end of the day, I'm also grateful that people are skeptical because I'm grateful that the viewers are. It shouldn't be that way, but the thing is, it's just so much dirty money involved, and so much like. I'm going to pay you to say good things, and it's bad. And we're seeing a lot of companies that crop up that maybe aren't making a good product, or they're just trying to get a quick buck, and they throw guns or products or money or all of it into YouTubers or Instagrammers and into their hands. And you're watching everybody I feel like, trying to like get rich quick off of trying to use social media influence and influencers to kind of do their dirty work. Where like back in the day, 20 years ago, like, you know, you just make a good gun and you make it at a good price. You know, and like that was also back when you had a saying I told you guys about this at dinner last night. They had a saying in the AR-15 community 20 years ago where they said, "Mind your ABCs," and that meant Armalite, Bushmaster, Colt. 20 years ago, if it wasn't, there was Olympic Arms, like they were around. Rock River actually like came up. They became the exception to the rule. But then everybody's making AR-15s now, and now everybody's making 1911s, and everybody's making 2011s. And I think that the American consumer, gun consumer, praise God, you know, thank God for the American gun market, because like crazy mofos like me will just spend and spend and spend on guns. So there's so much money to be made. There are more guns than there are people in the United States.
Unbelievably.
Yeah. And I love it, man. Oh God, that gives me a freedom boner like you wouldn't believe. I love it. And yeah. You can't see it. That's it's because it's very small, but still.
That's what she said.
Yeah. That's what she said. But in any event, I think we've seen this. It's really hard, and that's also kind of a mission of TFB. I want people to be able to separate the hype from the reality. And if I'm covering it and I say it's good, I mean it's good. And that's. You can take it to the bank, but that's what I see as a lot of distractions in the gun industry, a lot of competition, and a lot of people using falsehood and bribery to try to miscommunicate with the audience because there's so much money there. Sorry about that. I went off on that big time.
No. It's I just expected when you say that the social media is cancer that. Social media is like really after the gun content. Let's say that fully automatic firing is almost forbidden on YouTube.
Magazines.
It is forbidden. Well, sorry, I'm interrupting you, but to clarify, YouTube has community standards and they've got monetization like AdSense revenue standards. So there are certain things that are straight up forbidden, like showing how to build a silencer.
Right.
But you can shoot a machine gun. It's not forbidden.
But it's not monetized.
But you can't monetize it. And, you know, we figured out little ways to do
it. Maybe one day, even that can shift, you know. So even fully automatic shooting might be forbidden on YouTube or something like that.
No, we've seen it erode periodically. I used to write articles about it for TFB anytime YouTube would change their policy. And now it happens so frequently I can't keep track of it. So, yeah, I mean, it very well could be forbidden. All it's going to take is like, you know, one more shooting or, you know, that makes the news, like national news or international news. And they'll use it as an excuse, unfortunately.
There's also, what I see as a big issue is also that you can get reported, or even if you, I don't know, take a picture of a gun on table, totally safe. safe picture, nothing is happening. You put it on Instagram, you put it on Facebook, and you can get reported by someone anonymously.
Right.
And they automatically, they don't even look at it, the meta, and they kind of like shut you down. They don't really block you all the way, but
shadow ban.
I'm
exactly.
Shadow
ban. I mean, I could show you right now.
Yeah,
like if we sat here and paused for 2 minutes, which we're not going to do, but I could show you that I'm shadow banned because you can check your account status on Instagram, and there's some kind of algorithm that checks and it says you're offering guns for sale. It's like, no,
once you report it, you can of course you can say that you're not doing it, and they will review it, but it's like never-ending war, and it doesn't really help.
But I don't really care about Instagram. Anyone who follows me on Instagram, they know that I don't post a whole heck of a lot to Instagram. I will post it like, I'm here at CZ, so I'll post some CZ stuff to make the CZ guys happy that I'm doing that and making those posts. But personally, I don't make any money from it, and I think that people use Instagram as almost a clout meter, like how important you are. But I don't make any money off of it. I don't have any partnerships or anything like on Instagram. So for me, it's like, why am I going to waste my time just trying to get internet points and posting content that costs me time and possibly money to a company who is profiting from it, but at the same time trying to repress content. So I just know, but that isn't what I meant when I said social media is cancer, but that also is true. That also is true.
Like the
way you see it, Carl. Yeah. And I agree with that too. So in both senses, yes, that to me is accurate.
That's weird.
Do you have a question?
Yeah. I want to get back into guns. Okay. So I agree with you with the fact that social media is a cancer. I fully agree on that. So let's shoot a little bit. Let's get into guns. My question is, what do you enjoy shooting the most?
That's a really tough one.
We can go big with that.
No. I mean, like for me, I think people look at my content and they see that what really gets me excited, because I've always been a concealed carry focus guy. I do like shotguns a lot. I've been doing a lot of shotguns. So Clint Smith and Thunder Ranch, training with him really turned me on to shotguns, and then that's opened up incredible opportunities, like training with Langdon Tactical and Matt Hott at Simtac Solutions, and it's really brought my shotgun performance where I was maybe 3-4 years ago, had never taken a shotgun course. Like I knew how to use a shotgun, but wasn't really big into it. So I really get a lot of enjoyment from shotguns. I really enjoy any assault rifles, not really so much precision rifles or bolt action, because to me, I look at what's practical. For me, I would use a shotgun to defend my home. I would use a PCC to have in my car or something. I would use an AR-15 to defend my home. But the thing I think that pumps me up the most is probably the most boring thing to most people, in that I really like concealed handguns, like concealable, like smaller handguns, because I want to see how they're really hard. It's Clint, I brought up Clint Smith. He has a saying that I think is hilarious and accurate. When it comes to carrying, none of them are small enough. When it comes to fighting, none of them are big enough. So it's very hard to find that perfect balance of performance and comfort, something you're going to carry every day. And if it's rare.
And it's something what really matters for a civilian. Right?
Yeah. And so I'm not a LARPer. I'm not one of those people that pretends like I'm an army man, and go out and work. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I am picking on them because they are fucking dorks. But, it's like it's a good part of the community, and I'm glad that they do it. And I'm glad that, but I don't do that, because to me that isn't my world, and that's not my reality.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah. For me, it's like my reality is, I wear a suit and a tie and a inside the waistband tuckable holster. So I need to find out what works for me, because if I'm going to be involved in some sort of conflict, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. But actually, it makes lots of sense. Hearing your story and like what's your background and what do you actually do, it makes lots of sense. So yeah, it's totally fine. But speaking about the like differences between people, we are all people, right? Everyone likes something different. With us, with Carl, you know, there are things like usually having like wooden stock, which like constantly turn him on, and I'm like yeah, whatever. And he's like, whoa, this is, and then vice versa, right? There is something with like, hey, Carl, we need to let me have a look on this, and it's like, hey, calm down, okay, hold your horses. So I totally get it, and it's really, you know, oriented on, you know, what was your probably childhood and influence. Yeah, so I totally get it. Yeah.
You mentioned that you like shotguns.
Yeah.
Have you ever done duck hunting?
I don't kill animals.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't
so
do it.
No
it's
type
like
of
a
hunting.
policy.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, you know, my wife is she's a big animal person. She's a bird watcher.
Okay.
I'm a big animal person.
Oh, okay.
I don't judge people for doing it. I mean, there's like, you know, I think there are certain animals that shouldn't be shot, like endangered animals,
of course,
stuff like
Oh,
that.
of course, yeah.
But you know, and I don't care. Like I grew up around people who like went deer hunting, and it's like, okay, well, who lived a better life? Like this deer that like got to go out and eat grass and, you know, get deer pussy, whatever, and versus like some cow that lived in a cage. You know, it's like who did it? So I'm not judging, but just for myself personally, you know, like I just don't do it. It's a lot, mainly because it seems like a huge pain in the ass. And you know, like to go, it's just like fishing, man. I love fishing. I love fishing.
You love fishing?
Oh no, but I wanted to be on somebody else's boat, and I want them to fucking cook and clean the things, and like it to be their rods and their reels. So I don't get invited on fishing trips.
I'm here to collect the fish.
Yeah, because I'm the biggest asshole you'll ever fish with. Because I'll get drunk on your boat. Yeah, I'll screw stuff up. I'll break stuff, and I'll leave you on the dock, and then I'll be pissed off if you haven't cooked the fish by the time I'm back. So I'm the worst guy. I never get invited on fishing trips. So now, like hunting, like F that. And then like I also don't like the shit where they're like, oh well, just do the go to the game preserves or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. Like, you know, so like some duck, they literally have these things where they let like ducks or geese like out of like a chimney, and then you shoot them, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like where's the sportsmanship in that?
Oh yeah, of course.
So
of course.
you know, like I've got like I think some decently strong beliefs about it, but I don't judge other people for doing it. Right. You know, it is what it is. So yeah, no, I don't shoot.
Yeah.
Like I have no hunting stuff. I only have tactical.
It's big in the US, right?
Yeah, it's big,
like,
which is great. God
huge.
bless them. God bless them. Like, you know, we need people like that because, you know, usually, you know, it's sometimes shooters in the U.S. or gun people in the U.S. will call them FUDs, like people who are hunters like FUD. They'll say like, oh, you don't need no AR-15, like you just need an over-under shotgun, whatever. But I mean, it's important having anyone in the gun community that's on your side, no matter what they believe in, is really important. So, you know, God bless them. God bless the LARPers. God bless the FUDs. It's not, neither of them are my thing. Yeah. But you know, whatever, man. I mean, they're totally it's good for the gun industry. So that's fine.
We need more of this here. I feel.
Well, and you also don't need to like shame people. Like that's one thing I see. I don't like to wade into politics, but it really pisses me off when you have people who are like, oh, well, you know, you don't agree with, you're pro-gun and you own guns, but you're not as hardcore. Like you're what I say, like it's a Second Amendment dick measuring contest where it's like, you know, you're not, you know, our Second Amendment where we, you know, we've got the right to own guns.
Oh,
we
know.
But where it's like, yeah, you're not hardcore enough, then so you should be shamed and you should be ejected from the gun community. I just don't like that. So, you know, you can always sway people. You can always bring them in.
We definitely agree on that. We absolutely appreciate everybody in the gun community. Almost also the air gun rifles.
No, not so much. Not those. No, those guys are losers.
Guys.
No, I'm kidding. No, almost.
Right, you know, every community has extremes, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we ask you before we start recording if we can ask about anything, and I want to ask a question about how many guns you have.
I don't know.
I mean, this is so bad. Yeah, it's
No. I mean, like if I had to guess,
I don't know, means a lot.
Yeah, no, like between 50 and 100. Is that a lot?
Well, in Czech measurements, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
it certainly would not be. It certainly would not be less than 50.
Once you lose the track, that's
It's
bad.
a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, for me, it's primarily. Look, if I were just a private citizen, like I weren't doing YouTube or I weren't involved in the gun community, I wouldn't have that many. Like for me, I like simple because like I would want to practice on fewer guns. I would want to be familiar with fewer guns.
Yeah.
I would probably have like one shotgun, 2, 3 AR-15s, and maybe like a beater for like, you know, if you need to give one for your friend, like to your friend for whatever reason.
Of course.
A couple concealed handguns, you know, for whatever. That'd probably be it. I'd probably own 12 guns in like 3 calibers. That would probably be it. But being a part of the gun community, it's really important.
There's like a minimum for you, 12 guns.
Yeah, I would say
that's what you actually need. We can go through that. Historically, I made a list with a friend of mine. It's like because we had like a totally civilian, like out of gun community person asking us like how many guns you actually need as a gun nut. So we like make a list of necessary things you need.
Yes.
To like cover the community or cover like the general needs of the average shooter.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
But sorry to disrupt.
How many was that?
It was around 12.
I think 12 is probably the sweet spot. 12 and a half.
Covering
12 and a half
all
guns.
pistols, shotguns, rifles, bolt actions, competition, concealed carry, self-defense, you know, everything included.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I think
and was,
about a dozen.
Yeah, that was kind of decent. Just we didn't want to go big.
I think we should make a video about that list and review it. Reasons why you need these 12 guns.
Oh, sure. Anytime.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Oh, sorry. I just invited myself. You guys were speaking to each other. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that.
It was our idea. If you steal it.
Yeah.
No, you will definitely do it better. So.
Oh, come on, guys.
Oh, come on. We can do it in Czech. And
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll do it for Czech community.
Exactly.
We can actually discuss that. So, if you guys want, right? I think so. I'm gonna be talking from top of my head, but we've been talking about a concealed carry pistol, probably subcompact or micro pistol, something like that. The equipment is all about you. That's the topic itself. Full size pistol, right? Some open carry pistol, like you know,
that's a sidearm.
That's a 2.
Yeah.
Competition pistol. Number 3.
No.
Some fancy,
gamer guns. No.
I would go with the competition pistol, but I don't need a full size.
Yeah, just for fun.
That's
like
the full
fun,
size.
fun.
Well, that's fine. No. I get it. I just wouldn't put that in the need category.
Yes.
You're kind of getting into the want. You don't need a go.
The truth is that then I consider myself passionate competition shooter, so that's like on the list with myself. But okay, it might be discussed. So we have 3 pistols so far. Submachine gun, PCC.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Then we can discuss
ammo
like,
commonality, good for suppression. Yeah.
Probably some micro variants to put on a...
Everybody says, oh, just get a Mark 18, get like a super small AR-15. But no, and in fact, I've got a video coming up
like
about
a flamethrower.
Well, no, I've got a video coming up about that where it's like, man, you just can't... You guys know this because, you work with CZ. You cannot do a rifle caliber gun in the same footprint. Like, are you going to get a Bren 2? The smallest Bren 2 is probably bigger than the largest Scorpion. I mean, obviously not because you guys have the 16-inch models.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying. Like,
of course.
It's pistol caliber guns are just going to be smaller and easier to take with you.
It would be pain to have like super
discuss,
small assault rifle in full caliber.
Exactly. So there's no overlap in my opinion. So I agree with you. That's what I'm trying to do.
For myself, the biggest downgrade is the technical aspect of losing so much of the velocity, and that's like a drop. So
it's not worth it.
Ballistic is worse. The stop effect is worse. Depends what you need from it. And it's a constant. It's loud as fuck. It's a flamethrower.
Yeah.
So there's just cons.
Right.
It's nice and short. It looks cool on Instagram.
Yes.
But that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm personally a fan of the 16 to 20 inches.
Well, and then there you go.
That's what she said.
Yeah, nice. Nice. God. Yeah. No, but that's when you start talking about also, like, when we're talking about our list, introducing 7.62 or 300 blackout. I've got an M92 Krinkov.
That's a different story. Yeah.
Because now you can get shorter barrels with better ballistic performance. They're more efficient. Like I've got a Rattler, I've got a MCX Virtus, and 300 blackout.
Of course.
Yeah. So now you're talking about guns that you can make almost PDW size with 300 blackout or 7.62
Yeah.
and you can make them small. And at that point, if somebody really pressed me on it and said, look, man, like you're making a pretty weak argument for having a 9mm pistol caliber carbine, because don't you have a SIG Rattler or like a SIG Virtus? It's like, okay,
that's a good argument.
It's a good argument.
That's a good argument. Because then you can replace the extra barrel length with the suppressor, and that's like that's a different story.
Yeah, it's a different story. So
that's then you balance like different features.
And then before we move on from the short,
we ended up on number
guns,
3, by the way.
You need a revolver in 357 Magnum.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm curious as to why you said that.
You can make it for yourself. So you replace the competition pistol with the revolver. That would be probably case of James, right?
100%.
Yeah.
It's a stupid reason, but I still like it, and that's why I have one. And that's in a weird case of post-apocalyptic world, you can still shoot a 38 special and a 357 from the revolver, so you can get 2 calibers in one gun. So you imagine that you're out there for a long time scavenging for the calibers. This is a little tiny advantage you can get with the revolver.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like J-frame, like Smith & Wesson J-frame revolvers, like the 340 PD, I absolutely love them because I can just put them in my shorts. Like if I'm going, I told you guys earlier.
Gun shorts.
Yeah. If I'm going to the bodega, you can't really put a SIG P365 or a CZ P10M. You can't really drop that in your pocket of like your shorts if you're walking down the street, a couple of blocks, where it's like, man, those 340s that are scandium and titanium, they weigh 10 ounces. You got 5 rounds of 357 Magnum. I've done a video with it. I can actually make hits on target rapidly at 25 meters, like on a man-sized target. They're not going to be precise.
That's
they're
correct.
VA zone, but you can demolish somebody with that, and you don't need to. It's usually, it would be from me to you, very low exposure. Just I'm going down the street to buy a beer and come back. I can throw it in my pocket. So for me, that would be the argument for that.
The truth is that usually I wouldn't recommend to carry the gun just in your pocket. But if so, the revolver is probably the best option.
Because you can fire through a jacket pocket. And
the double action is so safe.
It's so safe.
Yeah.
So that to me goes on the list. That's very high on the list.
That makes sense. So that's really also speaks for your personality.
Yeah.
You need revolver.
I need revolver.
I need my competition pistol. Yeah. And then we can discuss shotguns.
Yeah.
Right? So that might be home defense. We can discuss what's the efficiency of the home defense shotgun. But it's still preferred by some to be a home defense choice.
Well, maybe before we move to shotguns, you need to consider what Ian told us. That he is keeping the what was it, Maxim 9 silencer co on his nightstand just to not wake up anybody if he needs to take down the intruder.
That's correct. That's correct.
So you need something silenced also.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, no, I agree with that. I mean, it wouldn't be like take down the intruder. That's like for me. And God, I hate, as a lawyer, I hate even saying this, but if there was something I needed to shoot at, and maybe I shouldn't be shooting at it, like legally speaking, like I've got the Q Mini Fix with a suppressor on it. Oh my God, and 300 blackout. That thing is about, when you fold it up, it's about this big.
Oh
yeah. And I also have the former VP9, the Station 6, B&T Station 6, which is a bolt action 9mm handgun with an internal wipe suppressor, which is super quiet.
Right.
So I have those things. It's like, let me use an example so I don't get in trouble, like where people are like, oh, James is like planning to kill somebody or something. But no, it's like we had one time somebody had a pit bull off the leash, ran into my backyards and was barking at my cats. Like one was trying to kill my cats. And so I got that. No. So I got that fucking, I live in the city. So, I got that Station 6 and I'm like, man, I'm going to put one in this dog's effing brain. And, fortunately, like the owner came along and I'm like, I'm
already having it ready.
Yeah. But I mean, I was like, look, if it's between like one of my cats or this asshole's dog who's walking off the leash, that's an easy decision. But that's what I'm talking about, is there's some utility to have, yes, I agree, a suppressed weapon.
Of course, once you share an apartment with someone else, it's better not to destroy his or her hearing, right? Yeah. So that was number 4, the shotgun. We discussed the suppressed PCC. Was it on the list? I'm not sure. So we have
I think we're already...
pistol number 1, pistol number 2, revolver, PCC, like home defense PCC, suppressed, probably. Shotgun, that's number 5. Then rifles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
So there's like 3 rifles at least.
Yeah.
AR-15, AK, and different platform.
Brand 2.
Mm-hmm. Be it brand 2. Yeah. It might be, AR-18 platform, sure. whatever. That's 8. Bolt action rifles, right? It's good, like a rimfire rifle. That's like a keep 22.
Yeah,
22.
I think 22 is important.
That's a keeper.
Yeah.
That's a keeper.
You've got to have a 22.
You'll have it forever.
Yeah, I have a 10-22 takedown. I probably haven't shot it in 5 years. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
But I have it, and it's my personal.
Good, like
I have one also.
Yeah, it's good, like a very first experience with the guns for friends of yours, or for kids, or for ladies.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that you can do with it.
Of course.
And of course, I've also heard like preppers. They're like, hey man, 22s are the best because you can take 10,000 rounds with you in a bucket. And you can carry it around and like, can you kill somebody with it? Sure. Is it the
it's
best?
Lethal. It's lethal, no joke.
That's one of the rules. Yeah. Never underestimate the 22.
Yeah, sure. So I think that those are
so that was 22. Then we have like a regular bolt action rifle. Call it whatever you want. It might be like
sharpshooter.
It might be hunting rifle. It might be combination. So today's trend in hunting is that we see more and more like almost like a PR specials just lighten up being used for hunting, which is super cool, even for us, especially for us as a Europeans.
Sure.
So we are very traditional with hunting. We just make sure that we put some engravings on the wooden stock we have, and the rifle is usually shared or
like
it's a legacy
through the generations.
Yes, it's like a legacy after father or grandfather or some
Sure.
So for us, it's like super cool. So it has becoming, or it's becoming more sport oriented, and I love it. I just love it. So that's number 10, I believe. So bolt action.
2 more to go.
And then we two more to go. And you call. You make the call.
I mean, for me, it's like to just say one concealed handgun, like
it's always good to have more options.
Yeah, because for me, again, like I can carry a bigger gun if I'm wearing casual clothes or I'm wearing a jacket. It's winter. That's fine.
Yeah,
but sometimes I have to carry smaller guns. So like I said, put something in my pocket. So for me, that being the most realistic scenario.
And by the way, where's your machine gun?
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Well, I have one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay, add a machine gun to the list. Definitely.
And that's like, once you are in machine guns, you need at least 2, right?
Yeah.
Like a Western and
Yeah.
All right. So we got to 12.
We got to easy. Like I said, 12 is about the right
12
number.
is nothing, but that's the baseline.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you feel like you have nothing.
Lucas, how many guns you have?
I'm less than 12. yeah, unfortunately.
That's what I thought.
But I have only what I need. So I cannot. I'm not able to cover all of these hobbies or all of these aspects of the sport, hunting, and
I know that if you could,
self-defense.
If you could, you would have more than 12.
Yeah.
What about you, Carl?
I don't want to say. It's more than 12. It's more than 12.
Okay. All right.
Come on, you did the videos from your room.
Yeah, but you don't see all of them. I have more than 12.
Keep your secrets.
Yeah, it's less than you, but more than Lucas.
Yeah, so it's like 8.
I'll say someday.
All right.
But speaking about what sort of guns you have, how many CZs you have?
I told you I got a P09 that I have never opened.
How come did Ryan knows?
Oh, wait. I have 3? Or what do I have?
Trail.
No, I don't have a trail because CZ made me send it back. I got the P09.
You have a P10C, right?
No, that I'm not sure. CZ maybe made me send that one back too. Ooh. So I've reviewed the trail. I think all I have is a P09 that's brand new in the box. That's it.
We will.
Okay, so well, I'm happy you have at least one CZ firearm.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's to me, like, maybe after what I've seen, I might get a Bren, but there's a lot of redundancy. Like I said, yeah, I look at everything in terms of redundancy. It isn't like, hey, I would have 12 guns, but I'd want more. I would probably have at most 12 guns. Like I just don't like having all that shit in my house. I don't like having all that money tied up like in guns. I don't need it, but it's like I need to have them to do videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for me, it's like there's no like, give me a CZ as somebody. I don't hunt, right? I don't shoot. I don't tournament shoot. I think the CZ75, I love it to death, but it's an antiquated, it's a heavy steel duty pistol.
Yeah.
So it's like, tell me like what I need that CZ makes that I don't have something like already for. If you guys did a micro compact, maybe we'd talk. Maybe we would talk.
We'll make a special edition for you.
Yeah, but I mean,
just signed James Reeves.
Yeah, but it's like the Scorpion. It would be really hard. Look, if I were your average American, the Scorpion's very appealing, right? It's inexpensive, it's good, but for me, it's like I've got 3 MP5s, like
I see,
and I've got B&T, like
that's the
I'm tight with
redundancy.
B&T, and yeah, it's redundancy, and it's like, okay, well, like. No disrespect to the CZ Scorpion, which is a wonderful PCC, but it's like, why would I have a CZ Scorpion when I have an APC 9K
no, it's fine.
or an APC?
Yeah.
No, we understand.
So it's like
we were just curious.
Yeah, just the top of the. No, but I think CZ, you guys are top 5 and what I mean is not ranked. Like, just if I had to name 5 companies like that are the most significant, important and best gun companies, CZ would be one of the 5 that I could think of. And that's like, you might be, if I had to rank them, you might be number 1 because again, we talked about how versatile you are, but I love Beretta.
Wow.
And like, I love Beretta, but I probably have like, the Beretta 1301 is the best semi-automatic shotgun in the market.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
So I've got a Beretta 1301. I've got like a Beretta 92, and I got like a Beretta 92 compact, and then I've got an APX and an APX compact, the A1. But that's because I'm reviewing those, and I think they're wonderful. But it's because I'm reviewing them. Like I've got my Glocks, that I'm married to. So and then Beretta doesn't make a micro compact that I would consider like they don't make a double stack or like a 10+1 micro compact. So neither do you guys.
No.
HK kind of, they haven't released one yet. But what's that? Yeah. HK is, like theirs is coming out. So there are a lot of companies that, I feel like are, for whatever reason, not making like these 10+1 micro compacts that I would buy. So that would be one where, like, see, if you guys made a P10C that was a micro compact, that might be the gun I carry every day. I would shoot that against my 365. I'd take them both to the range. I would see which one I shot better because I trust your products. I know the testing you guys do. And it's likely, even if I never shot it, if somebody said to me, hey, here's your P365 that you've had since like 2018 or 2019, and here's this new CZ P10C micro compact, which one would you trust? I'd probably say, look, I trust them about the same, because like I know what you guys do. So the point is, I wish you would. I wish Steyr would. I wish Beretta would. So for me, there's just again, it's a redundancy thing.
I understand.
I
understand. I was just curious.
Well, and I gave you the honest answer. I'm not here kissing your ass.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we hope for more.
I
but
totally appreciate it.
It's fine. Yeah.
And you partially actually answered another question I wanted to ask, and that was like, because we don't have idea how the CZ is being seen by the U.S. citizens. So what did you know? What did you think about the CZ before you visited the Czech Republic?
Yeah, what's the rumors?
Oh, well, I mean, everybody says like CZs are for hipsters, and I play along with that in the United States. Well, the reason why they say that is it's like...
Yeah, you have a CZ hipster sitting in front of you.
Yeah, and obviously. No, but everybody says CZs are for hipsters because it's people who want to reject like the popular, like the SIG or the Glock, which are really popular. And, you know, CZ's just as good, but I think people see it as like people are buying it just for the sake of being contrarians, like not buying the more popular guns because they want to be different.
Right.
And that's why, you know, they say it's for hipsters. But I really think it is, you know, it's funny you guys sort of like say for those who know, because like it's one of the few gun slogans, like gun company slogans that actually makes sense. So I think that there is a lot of hipsterism involved with, you know, people buying CZs just to be different from everyone else. But I honestly think like for those who really know about guns, people are like, yeah, man, like CZ makes a solid gun. So, you know, I tell people, I made a video maybe a week or two ago where I said, look, if I did not own any other, like I'm married to Glocks, you know, I've had Glocks. My first concealed handgun was a Glock.
Yep.
And all my holsters are Glocks, and I've got a great relationship with Glock, and I trust Glocks. But if I turned 21 and could get a concealed handgun permit yesterday, CZ P10Cs are selling for $300 in the United States right now.
That's a steal.
Like there is no way that I would spend $500 on a Glock when I could get a CZ P10C for $300 and then buy a case of 9mm. Like there's just no way. So, you know, it's just tough because, you know, I'm old, you know. Yeah, so, you know, I've got my brands already.
Okay. Lucas, you have a question? I have one final one, but...
Yeah, just finish it. Finish him.
All right, so the question we try to ask each time, but sometimes we forget.
More or less, yeah.
Desert island. What gun would you take to the desert island? You can pick two.
Short and long. Like a pistol and a long gun.
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say a short-barreled shotgun, something with like really short reach, so I can blow my brains out and not have to live on a desert island. So
you can reach
anything else.
The tree guard, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have to do it with my big toe. So, you know, that would be my answer. And then the second gun can be CZ, because Bren 2, because you guys are so great.
You just...
Come on.
I know, but I get the gist of the question. I mean, that would be my honest answer if I had to live in a deserted island. But it also would be different, like scenario-based. Like, are there deer on this? This is what happened. I know what you mean. You mean metaphorically speaking.
Of course,
If I could only keep two guns. You know, but when you ask a lawyer a question like that, you know, you're really screwing yourself over.
You probably should grab that shotgun that's going to be done by Mossberg. You told us about.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Beachmaster. Which you guys know the details
dial with style, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, which you guys know about, because there's you know, I haven't told a lot of people about that, but it's going to be no, it's okay. It's public, like it's public,
okay.
but they don't know people don't know the details. You guys do.
Right.
But yeah, that's coming up very soon, which is going to be cool. But no, I mean, if it were me and like truly I could only have two guns, truly only two guns, it would be a concealed pistol and an AR-15. Like that is it. And if you want me to like name names, I won't name names.
No, it's fine.
But that would be it, because you know, again, and this is going to be the third time that I've referenced Clint Smith, and like Clint, such a big influence like on my life and you know, my training, and you know, I go out there at least once a year and train with him. But the urban rifle theology that he's been teaching since 1983, where he's like, look, man, like there ain't shit, you know. And he also, another saying he has, he says, pistol caliber carbine, you know, in his voice, he talks like this. He's like, pistol caliber carbine, get a pistol, get a rifle, quit dicking around in the middle ground. Like don't even get one, you know, pool shooter.
I'm hurt.
So, you know, essentially what he teaches is, and what the urban rifle course is doing pistol work with an AR-15. And he's like, there is absolutely no reason to have like a full-size, where in my mind I'm like, man, you know, I need to have a full-size pistol, like for a bedside gun, or for like a, you know, a duty, shit hits the fan, you want to have a duty gun and a
I agree with you.
Yeah, but I mean, I want a concealed handgun that I can carry with me every day, and then I want an AR-15 that can totally F somebody up from 10 yards to 700 yards, you know. So like anything in between like a 12.5-inch and 16-inch.
These are the compromises, but
I agree with the compact pistol. I'm carrying my P10S, and you just stick a bigger magazine in it, and you're fine with it. You don't need that like extra inch of a barrel to make it any better.
And if you know John Correa, you know, with Active Self-Protection, you know, John's a good guy, and I've talked to him, and he's like, oh yeah, I've analyzed like whatever number, 40,000 shootings or 4,000 or 10, whatever the number of those videos he's watched. If you're not familiar, so John Correa, he's a bigger channel than I am, so if what he does is he analyzes like those videos of shootings, like civilian shootings and law enforcement shootings. And he says that in the civilian context, in these thousands of shootings that he's watched, he has maybe seen one tactical reload. He said no one reloads. It's always like it's done in a few shots. And you know, every now and then there's a video where somebody just does a total mag dump, but they're not doing it because they fired the last shot.
That's usually
in the fight.
Who does that?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a famous video where it's like some guy is running like a cell phone store, and someone runs in to rob it, and this guy just he's panicking, and he mag dumps. But dude was dead on like the 5th or 6th shot. This guy's just freaking out. And
I've seen it on lots of police records.
So, you know, and so I think what it is, in police, that's a different scenario, right?
Yeah.
So for us, it's going to be like a confrontation in the street. You know, whatever. So I'm not worried about it. Like I'm not like, man, I need a gun that holds 17 rounds. Like, you know, it'd be nice to have more than 6. You know, but I'm not gonna like lose sleep over carrying 10+1.
I would be more picky with the type of the bullet. I mean, type of the cartridge.
Yeah.
So I would probably use like more lethal options.
Yeah.
Instead of the capacity or.
Sure.
Yeah. You need to find the perfect trade, right? Yeah.
All right,
man. That's it,
guys. Thanks for having me. This was a real treat.
Thank you for.
I can't believe this has been like an hour and a half.
It's been around 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us on our podcast. It was great. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we will put your. Actually, I haven't said about your YouTube channel. So Gun Shorts.
No. That's Gun Shorts is my Instagram, which like I don't even have a
YouTube
ton of people.
Gun Shorts? No, I thought so.
No,
damn it.
No, everybody just like they key in on the shorts. So it's like TFBTV, so youtube.com/TFBTV, or my personal channel, youtube.com/James Reeves. And I do like more legal stuff and more like I'm starting to separate content because I do so much content for TFBTV. When you're posting like 2 videos a week, you're only getting half the views, right? Like people aren't really watching 2 videos a week. So it's like, okay, I'll do my more like personal stuff, like, you know, legal stuff, like talking about shootings and self-defense cases and stuff like that. I'll do that on my personal channel where I'll do the gun reviews on TFB. So I've, in the past maybe a month, I've started splitting off. So that youtube.com/James Reeves already has almost 80,000 subscribers right now.
We'll add both of these links into the description.
Sure.
Definitely for the guys, if you like what you hear from James Reeves, the 2nd most popular Reeves in the world.
Yeah, my cousin Keanu is #1.
Yeah. I was saving this joke for a long time. Then definitely click on the link in the description, and also if you like our podcast, then press that button for follow, and we'll see each other next time.
All the best. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.